That's okay.
All right.
Much like the guy who was supposed to be watching the dog.
Yeah. So, little viral video making the rounds again, and we might have a soundbite here to play at intervals whenever Richie's being bad.
Whatever Richie's being bad. Richie, you're misbehaving.
And nothing but appropriate and work safe and stuff.
Yeah.
I have no idea what you said because I accidentally hit my mute button.
It was a load of horse shit anyway. So if it doesn't come through on the actual recording, we'll just play it up as well. That's Richie for you.
Oh man! Hey,
slipping into his Johnny Bench routine.
I'd say before we get a little too, we have to start off with a kind of a sad note here, though, and we'd be remiss if we didn't mention the passing of one Paul Rubens, or as the world knew him as Pee Wee Herman.
Did you know Paul Rubens isn't his actual name?
No, you guys want to feed a little history lesson onto our audience?
Paul Rubenfeld.
There you go, and he was age 70.
Was he Jewish?
I guess so. He was a Florida man.
No,
he was actually from Florida. So I guess we gotta thank Florida for Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah, he was born in New York.
He graduated from Sarasota High School.
Yeah, I guess he grew up down there.
So no, that's fine. Then we don't have to give Florida credit for him.
Wait, is that where he really graduated high school from?
I believe so. I believe it was Sarasota.
Oh yeah. Grew up in okay. I'm sorry. No, you're right. Yep. Yeah, no. So he just happened to be born in New York, grew up in Florida, Sarasota. Yeah, no, it sucks though. He quietly fought cancer, kind of out of the public eye for several years there, and that's just sucks, you know. And Daniel had read to me the statement that he had put out, you know, through his publicist that said, "Hey, please put this out after he passed." And short, succinct, but that was him. Man, it sucks. You know, he's a part of all of our childhoods. I mean, if you're in our age range, he was it. I don't know anyone that didn't like Pee Wee.
Yeah, and then he followed us into our adulthoods through wrestling.
Yeah, he did. It's funny.
Wrestling stuff.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
Isn't he in the WWE Hall of Fame?
I believe so.
And he's the one who inspired Danhausen. He's indirectly responsible for Danhausen becoming famous.
Was he in the Hall of Fame? Oh, I'm not sure if he's in the Hall of Fame, but he won a Slammy, like when they were doing that stuff.
Okay. Well, he'll be in the Hall of Fame. I would imagine it at WrestleMania 40, right here in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
But he would show up though a time here and there. I know he made WrestleMania appearance at least once, a couple times. He was pretty big into it there for a bit. It was kind of at a time when he was kind of reinventing himself, kind of bringing the Pee Wee character back to the mainstream, if you will.
Was that after he shot that guy in the theater?
Was that after he what?
Shot that guy in the theater.
Oh, well, it was well after that, yeah.
Wait. Oh. I had to think about that for a second.
It didn't say what he shot him with.
No,
I don't remember who said that joke, but that was a famous one. One of the there's a lot of jokes. He famously came out and said, "Have you heard any good jokes lately?" But it was named two people that got shot in a theater. Abraham Lincoln and the guy that was sitting in front of Pee Wee Herman.
Who said that?
Just the comedians at the time.
Yeah, just one of those jokes that was making the rounds.
I don't know who said it first.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he actually started off, you know, he was very kid friendly, obviously, eventually, but he started off doing like adult stuff.
Yeah, he was. I don't know if it was the Groundlings, but it was one of those improvs where he formed that whole character, and it was a very, it was a stage show which he brought back a couple years ago. That was on Netflix before that fantastic Pee-wee's holiday movie with Joe Manjola, or how you pronounce his last name.
The guy that's getting a divorce from Sofia Vergara.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get tired of everything
Joe
after a while,
Manganiello.
I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, supposedly it's because he liked to stay home and play video games and do D&D and shit, and she wanted to go out and hang out with people. So they were leading two different lives for the past year, and they just, they're ending things amicably, but
Yeah.
God, it sucks to have to end things with
back
her.
Back to Pee-wee, he was also in. Joe Manganiello, he can get whoever he wants, so it's not like
yeah.
he's
Listen, man.
He was in all the early Cheech and Chong movies too, as like a background character. Usually had one or two lines. Nice. It was funny to see him pop up in that after seeing him, as Pee-wee Herman, the character.
Yeah, and then he was the spleen in Mystery Men, and he was in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And but yeah, man, he'll be missed. He was a fantastic entertainer.
Yeah. And I think it's things like, look, we had a TV show, we had the movies that have got to be in everyone's.
The Tim Burton movies are awesome. The first two.
Yeah,
mainly the first two.
Yeah, you got those that are as far as your childhood is concerned, and even as you
cereal.
Yeah, dude. I remember Mr. T cereal. I vaguely remember having it, but my biggest memory of Mr. T cereal is that movie.
And he was also.
Go ahead, Rich.
I was going to say David Letterman. Like if you watch a lot of his early stuff on David Letterman, it is just awesome. He's one of them guys that before David Letterman, I guess when as David Letterman was coming up in New York, and he would have all the weird characters on. Pee-wee Herman was one of the weird characters he would have on.
The thing I mentioned this in our text thread yesterday. I absolutely love him in the movie Blow. Just thought it was a fantastic character. Because it was a nice departure from the Pee-wee character. But it was still a funny character. But no, and just I think it kind of showed a little bit more of his range too. But no, it definitely sucks. It's the fact that he fought basically silently, if you will, for as long as he did. And I don't know. It's just I just kind of hope he's able to be at peace now.
Yeah, I mean, and you've seen that lately. Him, Chadwick Boseman, these celebrities are just where some people have to be in the limelight. They're like, you know what? Let's step back and just kind of enjoy what time we have left, and we spend it with our loved ones, and So you got to respect that.
Yeah, exactly. No, I agree 100%. But yeah, no, we'll definitely talk about him. I know, Rich, you've had some ideas about doing. We talked about. We got to do a Mr. Wizard episode, and we've got some other people. Maybe we can do a Pee-wee Herman episode, kind of a la like the David Crosby.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a cool, fun one, just to kind of retrospect on his career.
A week before this, too, Kevin Mitnick, I mentioned, also died of cancer. I want to say pancreatic cancer. And he's famously the guy that one of the biggest hackers that was arrested in the late 90s was in jail for a while. I think he did 5 years in jail, and then came out and founded a couple of security companies. KnowBe4 is another. I think it's called KnowBe4.
Oh yeah, okay, that's why I know that name. I've done yeah. I knew. I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but no, I've done a little bit of work with KnowBe4.
Yeah, we use him too. He was one of their founders. He also had a couple of movies and books based on his story because he was on the run for a while. Like, it's not like he was a hacker, then they went and got him. He was a hacker. He went on the run, and eventually the FBI caught up with him in North Carolina, I think. I forget how they found him exactly, but there was a couple of he wrote his book on it, and then the FBI agents who were after him wrote their book on it, and it's very, very conflicting stories. I mean, he wrote a series of books, and he was really big on social engineering. I think it's called The Art of Deception was the one all about social engineering, which is just a fascinating concept, and he was really, really good at it. And yeah, 2600, not to mention other podcasts. Actually, there's a radio show, so we can mention it. The 2600 podcast, Off the Wall. He was one of their keynote speakers at their Hope conferences, the Hackers on Planet Earth, and they did a really good memorial show last week. So it was something worth listening. So they had a lot of stuff they could go back and do interviews with him. Like they had him on the show after he got out of jail while he was on the run. He would call into their radio show, stuff like that.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
No, that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's actually pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's badass.
Yeah.
I can respect that.
Yeah. So, all right. So we dive into some goofy stuff here. We've had some oddball things kind of pop up in the news that Bob has kind of thrown our way, and I see what we can make out of it.
Bob's playing with his toys.
Oh yeah.
Look, I just realized that there's some bad batteries in here, and I want to get them out before they burst.
So you said Pee Wee Herman graduated from Saratoga High School?
Sarasota.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sarasota, in Florida. So if he was graduating from there next year, he would have learned that black people benefited from being slaves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I asked Peyton about that to see what his thoughts were. And it was kind of his response was kind of what I expected. And not really appropriate for the show. So, but yeah, I look, I know we shit. All right, well, I'm gonna put Optimus Prime down before I break it.
Yes, there you go.
I was gonna say, it's like, what are you doing now?
But I know we try to stay apolitical on this show, but this is one of those things that's we got to talk about because it's so stupid that I can't believe it's not The Onion. It's like beyond the pale. Like, in what fucking universe is a politician going to come out and say the words, "Oh yeah, black people benefited from being slaves"? Okay, look, did some of them learn trades and stuff? Yeah. But you know what? You know what they really would have benefited from? Not being fucking slaves. I think that kind of sums it up right there. And the fact that we're trying to say anything good about slavery is fucking stupid. There's no two ways about it. Nazis don't, Germans don't teach. Well, there were a lot of Germans who were dying slowly because they were starving. So we really helped them out with the Holocaust by killing the ones that were starving and were struggling with fucking disabilities and shit. No, fuck off.
No, they just don't teach it. That's the other thing.
Well, yeah, that's because
that's the other side too. They just cover it up.
This fucking Germans are embarrassed of the time when they discriminated and tried to eradicate an entire fucking race because they said they were inferior. Okay, let's talk about some other stupid shit before I have a fucking heart attack.
Now on the good news, you sent us some like really goofy things. You always do in good lighthearted whatever. But this was kind of an odd one, and mainly because it kind of went viral and one of those things that Danielle had shown me and whatever. But you want to go on that one? We'll kind of kick off with that and see where that one takes us.
Yeah. So, a zoo in China is having to defend itself after it denies that its bears are actually humans in costumes. Now, to be fair, these are sun bears. Sun bears are fucking weird looking. They stand up like humans. They carry their children like humans carry babies. And they don't have asses. So they just got like back that goes straight into their legs. Just kind of like,
they're white bears.
Yeah, they're white bears. Um, 45-year-old white bears. So yeah, they got no asses. Somebody stole their asses.
Okay, I think right now we need to make a proclamation that we call them Hank Hill Bears.
Yeah, they're Hank. Okay, they're no longer Sun Bears. They're Hank Hill Bears.
Mhm.
So
do
they also
have
narrow your
reaches too?
reaches.
Yeah, narrow reaches.
Yeah. So these Sun Bears, they look goofy as fuck. They look like, if you've ever seen the shitty animatronic bears and shit at like Chuck E. Cheese and Showtime Pizza and all that, that's kind of what they look like. Their fur and their skin just kind of just hangs there, like it's kind of ill-fitting, and it's just, they don't look right. But they're actually bears.
That bear ain't right.
And now what I'm thinking, there's two things that come to mind. Number one, I can't believe that I'm actually agreeing with shit that China's saying. They're not exactly the most truthful of governments, which is saying a lot considering they're a fucking government, and no government is truthful. But also, I got a good question here, and I want to see what you guys think of this. So if these guys walk around like humans, upright, and they look kind of shaggy, and their fur and skin is ill-fitting,
no, you can't have sex with them.
I was going to suggest that for you, but no. What I'm thinking is, are they possibly responsible for like Bigfoot sightings? Are people seeing sun bears and thinking, "Oh, that's a fucking Bigfoot"?
I mean,
we're stupid.
It's not a bad it's not a bad conjecture. I mean, but how many? That's why I wonder though. How many of those sightings have actually ever come in that neck of the woods, in that part of the world?
Well, and that's one thing, is because they're not very numerous. They're not quite endangered, but they're getting their list. They're on the almost endangered list.
They're the smallest bear standing, only 28 inches high, so they're also little bears.
Wait,
yeah, but people are dumb.
That's
people
their height?
Freak out over shit.
That's what it says in Wikipedia.
They're only 28 inches. Is it 28 inches
at the shoulders
on all fours, or is that on?
What about on their feet? What about on their feet?
I'm sorry, you're right. It might be standing on all fours. Okay.
Okay, it says on their feet they're about 5 feet. So they're about the size of a person.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm just saying.
And I don't mean to be ill here, but typically
Chinese people
are on the shorter side. So this whole person in a costume is not far off base. I just remember this, and Danielle showed me too, and we talked about it earlier. She's actually walked over and showed me the article, and we may have mentioned this in passing, but 10 years ago, the article, this is from CNN, the headline read, Chinese zoo angers visitors by passing off hairy Tibetan Mastiff dog as lion.
I remember that. I do.
Yeah.
I do remember that. So again, showing they're not, you can't put it past them that it could actually just be a dude in a suit. But
yeah. Well, I threw something at you guys earlier today too, saying like, this is completely possible. You have the guy that this was making rounds on Telegraph, and I think the New York Post and some other media, the guy that spent $14,000 or whatever the equivalent of the guy was in Japan to look like a collie. So
yeah.
So I mean, this is completely feasible that there's a guy in a sun bear outfit just hanging out in the Chinese zoo.
Hanging out in the zoo. Seeing if he can score some of that sweet sun bear tang.
What do you think that job pays?
What, being a sun bear?
Mm-hmm.
All the salmon you can eat?
Yeah. I
mean, do sun bears eat salmon?
I don't know. Is there salmon out there?
We're
going to learn something here. So you ready for this? Now, this is from Wikipedia, so take it for what it's worth. But they are omnivores, and they feed on a broad variety of items such as ants, bees, beetles, honey, termites, and plant material.
So hopefully he's not getting paid in food because that would
They,
suck.
well, they also eat. They're omnivores, so they also eat birds, deer, egg. They eat deer. Wow, eggs, reptiles. So yeah.
All right, so maybe they're getting some omelets and some venison.
Wow, they also their big thing is figs. Apparently, they like to eat them in large amounts. So
Figgy pudding,
yeah, fig Newtons.
fig Newtons.
That's what I'm doing. Next time I see a sun bear, I'm tossing that sucker a fig Newton.
I was going to toss it some sun chips. See,
I mean, it sounds like you eat both.
Sunflower seeds.
Yeah.
Anything
And
with
if
the
he
word
says-
sun. A Sunday.
If he thanks
Sonny
you,
from the WWE.
No, nobody wants to eat that.
oh, that was the WWE news. Not to go off on another tangent, but
It's
apparently
like-
they're having greatest American ever do the opening of SummerSlam. Kid Rock.
Oh, fucking hell.
Wait, where's it at this? Where's it at this year?
I don't know. Somewhere south, I'm guessing.
Yeah, somewhere where people don't have their teeth.
Yeah, but he's in Detroit, isn't he?
Yeah, but
Maybe-
nobody from Detroit gives a shit about Kid Rock.
Let's see,
be real here.
SummerSlam 2020.
Vince McMahon's back in full power, and Kid Rock's opening SummerSlam.
Jesus
Good to be
Christ.
in
Hey, you know why? Because guess where it's at? It's in home of the Detroit Lions, Detroit, Michigan.
Dude,
Is it in Detroit?
I hope that everyone just pelts him with Bud
It's
Light.
pronounced
cans.
Detroit.
Detroit.
I hope by the end of his performance, the ring is full of Bud Light.
Or
And
let's
I
see, what do
hope
they spell that? It's Ford Field. What would they? Maybe. Oh, you know what they could toss? Like oil filters, or
They could go get some Malort from Chicago.
oh god, ugh.
Isn't Detroit where ICP's from? Or am I mixing up my?
That would make
Remember.
sense.
Well, I mean, isn't that where Eminem's from?
Yeah.
They're all from there. Wait, ICP's from Detroit?
No, I think
I
ICP's
don't know
from,
why.
aren't
Wait,
they
this
from
one-
Ohio?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Let's see.
I think they're from Ohio.
They're from Michigan.
Get the fuck
Yeah,
out.
No,
Yeah,
they're from I thought so.
Detroit.
Yeah, from Detroit. Yeah.
Yeah, see, I was right. Yeah, see. I'm down with the
So-
clown, man. Don't
Jesus
test me.
Christ.
Yeah, so the best rap duo that dress like clowns of all time.
Magnet Saturday work.
How in
And
the
what's
world
her
do we?
face? A
you give us
Nazi-
like-
the Nazi girl that's not Filipino. We decided.
Tila
I can't
Tequila?
think of her name. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
That's
Hey, we're gonna give you guys 90 seconds. We're gonna do this to somebody random and be like, you need to go from Sun Bear to ICP and just and throw that in there right at the end.
Yeah. Listen, it takes a special show to do that, and we are all extremely special.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I don't think anyone else could do that.
No,
There's no way. Nope.
no. I think we need to be on the short bus when we go to WrestleMania.
Which is 4-0, emanating from the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia. Mm-hmm.
Dude, so we tailgate. Well, not I wasn't there because I'm still in hell, but we tailgated the release of the Eagles' second jersey that they're gonna the alternate jersey that they're going to wear for 2 games this season. What the fuck do you think that people are going to be doing WrestleMania week?
Well, I mean, if it's anything like we used to do for ECW.
I have a feeling it'll be a bit more tame because you're going to have
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot of people from out of town.
Well, yeah, it'll be. Well, I mean, you do have the contingent from the UK.
Yep.
You know, that
Which
always
honestly,
seemed.
look, my goal, as long as everything still plays out the way I'm hoping it does and we get to go, my goal is to meet Simon Miller.
That dude is hilarious.
He is. I fucking love Simon Miller, dude.
Yeah, I agree. That dude's crazy. He's funny. Yeah. No, it's cool. The crowd there in Philly, obviously for anything, is like most people around the country have seen that scene is like none other for everything. It's just so I just can't imagine. Now, I don't know that it's the WrestleMania though that what really piques my interest for crowd necessarily. It's that Raw after the WrestleMania, and I think that's where the as long as the hangovers aren't too bad, I think that's where the ECW might come out.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens too, because look, man, I'm gonna be real. I haven't been really keeping up with what's going on in WWE as much as I was. I've heard rumors of The Rock. Has that been substantiated yet?
I honestly thought that was going to be the WrestleMania Goes Hollywood, the 39. You know, because it makes most sense, right? I mean, big Hollywood actor, blah 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 blah, and then obviously those kind of plans get shelved. So now with the direction of where it's gone now, with the break in the family, what better way to crux that whole storyline, pinnacling that at WrestleMania 40 with him coming back?
Well, what I heard too is it's in part because of the strike, because he can't do anything right now.
Right,
you know, he's not going to cross picket lines. So what else is he doing aside from clanging and banging down at his gym? So why not, while you have the chance, while you have literally nothing going on, go show up at SummerSlam and then start at that point. So look, I don't know what he's got filming besides the live action Moana that they were talking about. I don't know when that starts, but you sow the seeds now for the perfect return in Philadelphia.
And you've got him, who's always been in impeccable shape. He is 51, and he would be 51 by the time WrestleMania 40 rolled around. So, and we've seen obviously wrestlers that were not in nearly as the shape that he's in come back at a much later age, and there's some that are still out there wrestling. So, it's certainly feasible. I think one of the things that really piqued my interest with it all, with some of those guys coming back, was when Stone Cold came back. Not this past WrestleMania, but the one before, and man, it was amazing. Like, he looked like Stone Cold. Like, he put on a show with Kevin Owens, and it was awesome. So I can imagine The Rock doing something similar, assuming that he's healthy, obviously.
Dude, can you imagine if we get Stone Cold and The Rock both at WrestleMania 40?
I think that would be the one thing that Vince could pull off with him coming back. I really do. You know, the guy should not be in charge of anything right now, but my goodness, if anyone's going to get those guys back in one more time, not against each other, not wrestling each other, but just for a spot. Right. Yeah, it's going to be.
I don't want to see Taker, because Taker's so.
Oh, he's done.
He's so wrecked. He can't. Like, I watched him on a podcast, and he could barely walk and sit in the chair.
No, he doesn't need to wrestle. He doesn't need to. No.
So he can be involved.
That's what I want to see. Wait. I'm booking something in my head now. It's going to be awesome. It's Royal Rumble. No, Battle Royal. What's the one where 30 guys go in the ring?
Royal Rumble.
Royal Rumble. Okay. Yeah. So we get Taker, Hulk Hogan, Terry Funk, Jake the Snake Roberts, Sabu.
Oh, Jesus. So far, Jake the Snake would be the only one that's in shape enough to win that.
Yeah. We got all the old.
Can Sabu get in the ring?
Over 60 over 65. Is Pat Patterson still alive?
Yes. No, I think Pat Patterson's still. Yeah, Pat Patterson.
Yeah. Actually, funny story about him. So Daniel and I went to Rumble 2012 in St. Louis, and we were eating breakfast at a little spot that was close by to the hotel where we were at and where the arena was. And Pat Patterson went up to get breakfast right in front of us. It was kind of funny. He was with the Colognes, Primo and Epico.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, it was kind of funny. It was like we're sitting there eating and like, wait a minute, I know that voice. And I look up and it's like, obviously it's like they didn't say anything, but the guy's like ordering and we're sitting there at a table. It was just kind of funny.
Yeah. Primo and Epico,
aka
the Luchador or the Matadors. Matadors.
I forget what they were doing at the time. I don't think they were like.
Oh, were they the Shining Stars right then?
They may have been. They were going off their own names at that point, so they weren't they weren't dressed or anything. They were just obviously not buying breakfast, but they were just like them. I don't think they were doing anything at the time that was memorable anyway.
Abdullah the Butcher, I think he's still alive. I just watched his Behind the Ring, or what it's called, Under the Mat.
Under the mat. No.
Dark Side of the
Mat. That's where Hornswoggle lives.
Under the mat.
That's where Hornswoggle lives.
Oh, by the way, I'm gonna throw batteries at Vince McMahon.
Do it.
Yes.
What size?
D batteries.
Okay, very good.
There you go. All right,
very good.
I was going to say like car batteries.
That's a proper Philadelphia answer.
D's batteries.
I'm gonna throw snowballs at him.
George Animal Steel. Is he still alive? I'm still booking my.
No way, he's not. There's no way he's alive.
George Animal Steel?
No way.
We're getting tomorrow. Tomorrow, Jerry Lynn versus I forget who he's wrestling.
Yeah, you know what's funny? George Animal Steel. Now this isn't funny, but he died 6 years ago, by the way. But he's also from Detroit. Detroit, Michigan.
He died in Cocoa Beach, Florida,
with a rope or a turnbuckle in his mouth.
Yeah, probably. What was
Mass Transit died, so he can't be in there.
Yeah.
You know who?
Well, I mean, he could be.
Oh, I was gonna say you know who could be, but he can't because he died in March of 2019. Was Woodbury's own King Kong Bundy?
Yeah. I met. Yeah, we met. He came in the auto shop one time. I felt bad for the guy because he was driving a really bad Jeep. It was either a Jeep Cherokee or Jeep Grand Cherokee, and it was beat. Felt bad for that guy.
Hacksaw Jim Duggan and Virgil are still around, though. I think they'd be good.
I don't think Virgil can wrestle anymore.
Neither can anybody else I mentioned, though. That's why
Dude,
I mentioned.
so
yeah, I mean, like
all these
Virgil,
people,
like legit.
All these people that Rich have mentioned, Virgil might actually be the top choice at this point. I mean, Jake the Snake probably would win this, but everyone else, no.
Whoa, hold on.
Arn Anderson, throw Arn Anderson in there. Arn Anderson's in decent shape.
Oh, he's fine. Yeah, he'll win it. Yeah, now you're actually answering like real people that are still okay.
I ran out of old wrestlers.
Oh, never mind. That's not that. This isn't the Virgil that I was thinking of. Okay, this Virgil. I thought that Virgil's last name was Ablow, but he's apparently a fashion designer.
No, Ublow.
No, Ublow. No, Virgil's name is actually Michael Jones.
What a boring name.
And he was born in Wilkinsburg, Pennsylvania.
Oh, someone
hold on.
Someone not from Detroit?
Yeah. Well, listen, while we've got this open, because I've never looked at his fucking Wikipedia page. So here's just some of his ring names. Curly Bill, Lucius Brown, Mr. Jones, Mike Jones, Shane, Soul Train Jones, Vincent, and then obviously Virgil. And he was named Virgil after Dusty Rhodes' real name.
Yeah, Virgil Reynolds. Yep.
Yeah. So, but I find it funny that he went by Vincent and Shane.
Yeah, the Vincent one was a knock at Vince in WCW run. And I think it's funny because he picked up, the Virgil Ed, and it's funny. He basically like took on monikers of bookers. and sons of, apparently.
I had Terry Funkel in the mind because I was in Walmart this morning and they had a Chainsaw Charlie. Is that the name of that
Chainsaw Charlie?
They have a face, but it's got the pantyhose over it. It's an awesome figure. I didn't buy it. I wanted to buy it. I should have bought it.
Wait, where was this?
Walmart.
Oh no shit.
WWE, one of the elite figures. I guess it's one of the new ones.
Yeah, they're doing the Three Faces of Foley pack. Did you see that?
I did not see
And
that.
it's his he's the Cactus Jack that they're including is his WCW one. So it's got like the leopard print sleeves and stuff. He said that he wasn't going to renew his Legends contract with them unless they agreed to do a Three Faces of Foley Legends set or Elite set with all three of them. So,
Rich, you brought him up, so I've got a question now, and you brought him up in the sense of Chainsaw Charlie. So as big of an ECW mark as I was at the time, and then when they bring him over as the Chainsaw Charlie character for a stint, I hated that character, mainly because I love Terry Funk so much. But the Attitude Era was so hot that everything got over, like everything. But I personally did not like that character, even though Terry Funk made it work. I don't know. What do you guys think on the Chainsaw Charlie? Because I don't know if we ever talk about this ever again. So
I honestly vaguely remember it from the time, but it's fucking Terry Funk, man. Just let Terry Funk be the Terry Funk, for the love of God. Like,
yeah,
that's all.
Yeah, whatever gets some airtime too. Like if that's the only way you can get on TV, then whatever.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing I said. Like I said, Terry Funk made it work. But yeah, no, it's Terry Funk. I mean, come on, like, dude. But yeah, and of course, Mick Foley was going through all sorts of different crazy characters and creations. So maybe that was the reason why.
Yeah.
That they did that, but everything got over back then. I mean, hell, you had friggin' Mosh and Thrasher and those really dumb characters that should have never got over. So it's pretty obvious that Chainsaw Charlie
could have been worse. He could have been the Bastion Booger.
Well, I mean, it predated the Attitude Era a little bit, right?
Yeah, but
sure,
act like they still wouldn't pull some bullshit like that out.
Yeah. They did, but that's the thing though. I think because the era is remembered so fondly, even the bad stuff's like, oh yeah, that was okay. Yeah,
Fucking Blue Blazer, my ass.
Yeah.
Owen should never have been the fucking Blue Blazer.
No, but Owen made it work, and that's the thing.
Again, and that's the thing, and that's the mark of a true professional wrestler who is outstanding at their craft is taking a bullshit angle, a bullshit gimmick, and making it work. Blue Blazer doesn't work if it's not somebody that's fully committed. Fucking Chainsaw Charlie doesn't work if it's not somebody that's fully committed. Undertaker, a zombie fucking devil worshipping wizard that's undead. Fucking.
He turns into a redneck biker for whatever reason.
Huh?
He turns into a redneck biker for whatever reason.
Yeah, and then who eventually turns into a redneck biker, and then comes back and is again the undead zombie fucking.
It's because he's undead, so he can do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
See?
And then he does them both in the same fucking match in that last ride match or last graveyard on the left or whatever.
Star of Suburban Commando.
Yeah. But then you have somebody like and I'm going to talk shit on him for this because I understand he was disappointed with the direction of the character and I understand what he wanted to do, but and I guess I should preface it with who knows what ideas he had that they didn't let him go with, but Cody Rhodes with Stardust. It seemed like at times he was diving into it head first. And then at times he was kind of like, why the fuck am I doing this? And that's what kind of separates the greats from the could have beens, should have beens, would have beens. And Cody, to his credit, Cody Rhodes has turned everything around, but he also had to leave the company to get away from that gimmick that he didn't think was going to work. That, granted, it wasn't a great gimmick, and you would think that after his dad passed, they would let him out of the gimmick because hasn't he suffered enough? But I think part of the reason they didn't is because he was so vocal about not wanting to do it in the first place.
Yeah, it's weird. Like you said, sometimes it works with the person's willingness to get behind it, but then others. I mean, but I get it though. It sucks. That one sucks. If that one would have worked so much better to me if there was no Gold Dust. In a sense of like running with it and being able to stick with it. I think that's the problem. You get kind of lost behind because you had so much history with the Gold Dust character, and you're trying to live up to that standard. Even though you're obviously on the precipice of making it big outside of the company, not far down the road. But yeah, I could see getting lost in that, you know.
Or even if they would have, when they had the Ascension, right?
Oh,
And
they
the
screwed
Ascension
that
was
up.
with them. If they would have made the Ascension not a fucking joke. But remember when they first came out, or when they first came up to WWE, to the main roster, in NXT, I don't remember them talking. I think in the very beginning when the Ascension was like a stable, didn't they talk? But then once they were just a tag team, they didn't talk.
They were very the best I could describe it when they were on their hot run. It was very Legion of Doom, Road Warriors-esque,
Right.
just running through teams very quickly, very brutally. Now, granted, the one guy, Victor, smaller guy, you had a little you didn't have like both like big, like Hawk and Animal types.
Right.
The one guy it was Connor. But the other guy wasn't, so you had a little bit more speed to go with. But they still bowled through other teams.
Right.
So yeah, they were just very quick in, out, boom, and they could have done so much with it, and then bring them up, and then boom.
And then they're just screaming at the fucking camera.
Yeah,
like
didn't work.
The Ascension.
Yeah,
Like,
didn't work.
It was nonsensical.
Speaking of wrestling, I know Rich, you're kind of our AEW source. You got anything good AEW wise?
Yeah, everything MJF is doing is just amazing. They did. I didn't understand the idea when they were doing it, but they did a blind tag team where they just put random people into different tag teams, and one of it was a MJF and Adam Page. Adam Cole. Sorry, thank you. And it's been like the best thing ever. They won all their matches, so they got up to the chance to go against FTR, yeah, for the title. And it's just they basically turned him into a baby face, but like,
dude, he's slapping hands in the crowd and shit.
Yeah, you're expecting him to turn, and he's not turned yet. Like, even after the match, it was just and when I first started watching AEW, I didn't like it. He just seemed like a dick. And again, a lot of that's like, again, he's a heel, and I realize he's just a good heel at this point. He's mixed that whole what's real, what's not real, what's going on, and he just does it so well, and he can talk and he can wrestle. And this whole thing with Adam Cole has just proven that he's next level. It's just, I'm really like, he turned a double clothesline into that's their team move. Like, it started out with them not wanting to do it, and then they started to become really good friends. And one of the matches, they did a dance off like at the middle of the match with the other teams. It's just
Sammy Guevara
playing so well, and it's really good. They got matching uniforms. They mixed the theme musics together, so it's Better Than You Baby is the name of their tag team.
Tom, if you haven't seen any of this shit, man, seriously,
it's really good.
Yeah, no, and I'll be honest, Bob and I'm like, I've not really watched much of any
I don't like
wrestling.
Adam Cole that much either. This made me respect Adam Cole a little more too.
Dude, Adam Cole to me, when I first watched, for my first real experience with him was watching him through NXT.
Yeah, apparently a lot of these guys came up through NXT, and I just never watched any of that.
Yeah, and it was NXT in its kind of golden era. Adam Cole to me was like watching Shawn Michaels in his youth. I just absolutely loved everything he did. And then, Adam Cole in NXT was given a great group with the Undisputed Era. And it was just such a great, like, man, it was awesome. So every time they came out, it just had this like aura about about him and about them. So I loved everything he's done. I just haven't kept up with what's going on. So I'm glad to see that. I'm like, it was cool to like hear you talk about it, because it's like, oh man, that's him. Like because he has that charisma. He just the thing that I think that always kind of held Adam Cole back, and I hate this, is just height.
Yep.
You know, he's just kind of on the shorter side. So.
And then Orange Cassidy's on a very long streak with the Intercontinental title, or I think they're calling it International. International, thank you. And they just keep putting him against bigger and bigger guys, and he just keeps pulling out the wins, but in like semi-believable ways where it's still entertaining to watch him. And he's getting injured as he goes on, so like he's fighting with a bad arm, a bad back, and still kind of pulling out the wins, and he's just fun to watch. And he's still the champion. They finally got rid of, well, not got rid of, but they had Jade Cargill is no longer the TNT champion. She lost to a returning Chris Statlander, so she's the champion now.
Returning who?
Chris Statlander.
Oh, Chris Statlander.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And she's been putting the title up too, so she's been a good champion so far. Yeah.
CM Punk. So
go ahead.
They had the Owen Hart Cup Memorial, thing,
Yeah.
And Samoa Joe got beat by CM Punk in the one semifinal match, and Ricky Starks beat Powerhouse Will Hobbs, right? In the other side, I believe. Yes. And then so Ricky Starks ends up winning the match, but as he was pinning Punk, he had his hand on the ropes. Yeah. So he cheated to win. And Jushin Thunder Liger was the one giving away the trophy. And so Ricky Starks just grabs it and runs. Doesn't say nothing to him. So then the next week or the next, whatever, because that was at the pay-per-view, on Collision, CM Punk is out in the ring talking to Tony Schiavone, and he's like, I don't blame him. I'm disappointed that he cheated, but I don't blame him, and I just want to know, can you live with having to cheat to beat me? So then they had a dual threat match, or a tag team match. It was Punk and Darbs, the incel emo clown, and it was Ricky Starks and Luchasaurus. Yeah, Luchasaurus. So, and again, Starks cheated to win. And then CM Punk comes out this week, and he's still got his red bag with him. And Tony Schiavone's like, well, what's in the bag? So he shows him that it's the belt, and he says, and he starts teasing a heel turn, and he's like, Ricky, you didn't beat me, blah, 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 blah. You cheated twice. You can't beat me in a fair match. And I've got this. No one beat me for it. So that means that I'm still the champion, and this is my belt. And then he goes, and oh, yeah, let me do this. And he pulls out spray paint, and he spray paints an X on it. And then he holds it up, and he goes, see, this for a long time has been my symbol. It stands for straight edge. And being straight edge means that I'm better than you.
No.
So he goes, and before somebody else in this company was running around stealing my slogan or stealing my catchphrase or whatever, and he goes off. And basically what it amounted to is there's going to be a final blow-off match between Starks and Punk. And is it Jushin Thunder Liger that's going to be the special guest referee? No, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Yeah.
Ricky the Dragon Steamboat's going to be the special guest referee. So
yeah, you should put Rich. That's who you should put in, and he'll automatically win it in your fantasy booking. Yeah, he can still go now.
Hook also lost the FTW title to a heel turned Jungle Boy, who's not Jungle Boy anymore now. It's just Jack Perry. Who's not going to work as a heel. It's not working.
No, dude, he's too. Unless he comes out and fucks Anna Jay in the ring, I'm just gonna still see him as little Jungle Boy.
He's got his hair all back and comes out to some kind of classical music now instead of Tarzan Boy.